Today, we're going to be looking at Heads of State, the action comedy.
That's right.
We've got to figure out, why this film, which is pretty silly, let's be honest,
Oh, definitely silly.
why it's seen as, well, surprisingly enjoyable and effective even.
Yeah, and what I found really insightful is how it seems to succeed because it just completely leans into what it is, especially with all the wordplay.
That's a great point. Okay, so let's unpack that. The first thing that really jumped out on Heads of State was just this, relentless barrage of puns.
Relentless is the word.
Exactly. And you hear that, and maybe you think, oh, okay, really on-the-nose humor, right? But it actually works. It hits its mark more often than not. And that leads to this very, lighthearted feel.
And what's fascinating, I think, is how it works. It's not just, oh, there are puns.
Right.
The material suggests the film really embraces its silliness wholeheartedly. It's not apologizing for it.
Okay.
And the puns land because they're delivered with so much enthusiasm and timing. It becomes part of the charm,
So the delivery is key.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
The cast is clearly in on the joke. There's this self-awareness, this sense of fun that's just infectious, apparently. It makes it more than just jokes. It becomes this delightful romp.
The rump, yeah. It almost sounds too simple, doesn't it? It's not like reinventing storytelling or anything.
No, definitely not groundbreaking plot-wise.
The plot is described as straightforward, pretty much just a setup for the action and, well, the comedy.
A vehicle, basically.
Exactly. But the pacing, that's apparently really sharp. Jokes come thick and fast, so you don't really get a chance to get bored.
Yeah, and that ties into the visuals too, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You connect this to the bigger picture.
Oh, right. The look of the film.
Yeah, the cinematography, it's functional, so not flashy.
Okay.
It takes a backseat, lets the comedy and the performances shine, which makes sense, right?
Yeah, you don't want the camera work getting in the way of a punchline.
Exactly. And plus, the aesthetic is apparently really bright and colorful, which, totally matches that cheerful, lighthearted tone we were talking about. Imagine if it was all dark and gritty.
Right. It would feel completely wrong for a pun fest.
Totally wrong.
Yeah.
So the bright look actually helps the comedy land. It works together.
Okay, that makes sense. And speaking of performances, helping the comedy, the ensemble cast that came through is a huge plus.
Oh, definitely.
We're talking Idris Elba, John Cena, Priyanka Chopra, Patty Considine, Jack Quaid, Carla Gugino. Quite the list.
It really is. And they each bring this unique energy.
Yeah, and that their chemistry is palpable. You can actually feel it.
Exactly. And that's so important because their performances, they're broad and exaggerated.
Okay, so not subtle then.
Not at all. But that's perfectly suited to the film's comedic style. They're leaning into the whole vibe.
Right.
And sure, the characters maybe aren't deep or complex, but they're written to be likable and engaging.
Which makes it easy for the audience to kind of just go along with it.
Exactly. You want to root for them,
Yeah.
even amidst all the silliness.
So what's the takeaway here? What does this all mean for Heads of State?
Well,
It is a film that fundamentally knows exactly what it is.
yes, that's the core of it.
And it just embraces it wholeheartedly. It promises a good time and it delivers. It's a thoroughly enjoyable choice if you just want something light and funny.
And I think in the, bigger picture of action comedies, it stands out, not for being deep, but for its unapologetic embrace of puns and wordplay and over-the-top explosions.
Can't forget the explosions.
Never. It's actually
Yes.
kind of refreshing, isn't it? A reminder that sometimes the simple stuff, the straightforward jokes, if done with commitment,
Yeah.
they just work. It holds its own as just a fun and entertaining addition to the genre.
So, bottom line,
Yeah.
if you're in the mood for a laugh and you don't mind a pun, or maybe 100,
Or maybe more.
then yeah, Heads of State is well worth a watch.
Absolutely. And, this whole look at it, it really shows how a film doesn't always need to be groundbreaking to succeed, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes just being really, really good at exactly what you're trying to do,
Mm-hmm.
like leaning hard into your specific comedy niche is enough. Makes you think, what's the real value of that kind of self-awareness and clear focus and entertainment, even when it's, wonderfully silly?